Are we ready? Okay. Here we go. I would like to call to order the Lewis County Commissioners' business meeting of Monday, April 9th. All three commissioners are present, so we do have a quorum. Dave Anderson, would you like to lead us in the flag salute?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Nope. Okay.
I move to approve a proclamation proclaiming April 8th through 14th, 2018 as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week.
Second.
All right. We would like the reading of the proclamation. Would you state your name, where you work?
Okay. My name is Elizabeth Castile, supervisor at Lewis County Communications, and I'll be reading the proclamation for the Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 8th through the 14th, 2018. Whereas the Washington State chapter of the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials and National Emergency Number Association is composed of members representing telecommunications from every facet of public safety in Washington State, and whereas 911 telecommunicators across the state are available around the clock to answer calls from those in distress, and whereas 911 telecommunicators are also radio lifelines for police officers, firefighters, and emergency personnel who respond to emergencies, and whereas 911 telecommunicators are responsible for a wide range of public warnings, including amber alerts and notification of earthquakes, tsunamis, hazardous materials releases, and other threats in public safety, and whereas countless lives have been saved by the prompt, effective, and compassionate responses of 911 telecommunicators. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Lewis County declares the week of April 8th through April 14th, 2018 to be Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Lewis County, and we encourage all people in our county to join us in recognizing the important contributions of this dedicated group.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Elizabeth,
Very much.
how long? Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Any comments from any of the other folks who work there? Okay, thank you.
I've got a comment. I will tell you, first off, thank you for all your service. And I happen to have even though we get a report daily on what's going, or not daily, but weekly on what's going on, and you hear things. I happen to have a neighbor that moved in a couple of years ago as they built a house up by mine. And she worked for King County as a supervisor in that world. And so I was talking to her about it, and she says, you have no idea. And some of the challenges that we face, you guys face on a daily basis, she said that she just echoed that. So she's reinforcing a lot of things, that it's just a very, very difficult job. And there's no script to it. It's impossible to put together a script. And like anything else, some people, you can schedule your meetings and you can do things, but there's just absolutely no script to it. So I'm very much appreciated on what you guys do up there, and just continue the hard work, and I know you will. And Lewis County is a much better place because of your efforts. That's for sure. So thank you. Steve, come on up.
Yes.
I just want to make a
And who
quick
are
comment. Everything you
Who are
said.
you? Who are you?
Steve.
I thought you knew who I was. Steve Mansfield, Department of Emergency Services. Can I go now?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
No,
We're glad you're here.
I just wanted to echo what you said about a difficult job, but even more so, these folks have been through a lot the last several years. And there's been a lot of changes up there, and because of change, it brings frustration. It brings a lot of unknowns, and they've handled it really well. And they're turning the corner on so many different fronts. And so even all the things that they do that people don't know about, the difficult job, all that, there's other challenges for them up there, and they're doing a great job. And we just had the opportunity to promote one of them, Jennifer Dukeman, to supervisor last Friday, and we're ready to go. And I think the people are getting excited, getting enthused, and now we just need a contract.
Okay. Thank you. Any more?
Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
Dave Anderson, 911 manager. I feel compelled to talk because Steve did as well. And this is not about me, but it's about the telecommunicators. And on occasion, I listen to some of the recordings of what the telecommunicators go through, and being in the military for 22 years and seeing the things that I've seen, there's some things that I wish that I could unsee. And there's certain things that I know that the telecommunicators could wish that they've unheard. But they continue to do the job valiantly, and my hat is definitely after them. One more little tidbit of information. Lewis County 911 will be next generation 911 by June of this year. So we've come a long way, and that's basically in regards to all of their hard work and dedication. There's some really awesome people here in Lewis County, and I'm very proud of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Patty? Okay.
Mr.
Or
Fun,
Cheryl.
I
Yes.
can make a comment or two. One of the things I appreciate about our 911 operators is the sacrifice they make, especially when they have to sacrifice time with their own families, such as Christmas. I was up here. I made my way up here on Christmas Eve just to stop in, and I really appreciate the dedication of this group. And just want you to know that your commissioners are paying attention. I sit on the advisory board for 911 on the state level. And as you can well imagine, the problems we're having here are statewide. And gratefully, our problems are fewer than they are in other places. You begin to hear about what's going on in King County and how they're trying to manage several PSAPs rather than our just single one here. It makes you grateful you live in a smaller place where we try to minimize those things, but it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. And so I really appreciate Steve Mansfield, Dave Anderson, and everyone that works up there, because you're the folks that keep us safe. You're the folks that get people to where they need to get to when there's an event. And I've seen the numbers. We are in the higher, the 99 percentile of being able to answer calls quickly, effectively, and efficiently. That's something to be said. And so I commend you. I'm grateful that you're there. And please know that your commissioners are always in support of you. So thank you for all that you do.
Yes. I've been attending a Citizens Academy in Centralia. One was for the merchants and one's for the general public. And it's always with pride when they talk about 911 and who to call and the non-emergency number, etc. So It's really good to be out there and hear the good words. So once again, thank you. It is moved and seconded to approve the presentation item on the proclamation proclaiming April 8 through 14, 2018 as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you again. I make a motion to approve 3 notice items, Resolution 18-120 through 18-122.
Second.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Martin, Director of Public Works, speaking to all 3 of those, 18-120 through 18-122. The first is publication of the 2017 County Forces Road Construction Projects and Costs. So per RCW 3677070, the Board of County Commissioners is required to publish in a newspaper of general circulation a description of work and the costs related to county forces road construction. So there's a difference between construction and a lot of the maintenance that we do. So this is new construction building. And so in 2017, we had county forces that worked on the countywide 3R program, which is resurfacing, restoration, and rehabilitation, for a total county forces cost of $433,834. So that'll be published this week. Any questions?
Thank you.
Resolution 18-121 is call for sealed bids for the material purchase of 2 precast concrete split box culverts for our CMP, which is County Maintenance Project 1603 and 1604. The bids for these culverts are due to the clerk of the board by 11 a.m. Tuesday, April 24th, 2018. So we have 2 projects here, one on Pleasant Valley Road here between out by Winlock, and then one on Bunker Creek Road, which is in Adna. So they're both culvert replacements. They are both have fish passage funding for the state. So we will be going out to bid for the materials first, and then the contract to construct the project later in a few months. So this is the material purchase. Any questions? Okay, the next one is also a call for bids for the purchase of materials. This one to construct the Lincoln Creek Road stockpile and fill site. Bids are due to the clerk of the board 11 a.m. Tuesday, April 24th, 2018. This is crushed materials and pit run for us to build the site where we will use as a stockpile and a fill site out there on Lincoln Creek Road. It's a piece of property we purchased a year or so ago. We've been working on getting permits together and selling off a portion of that, which we have done now. So we'll be developing that site as a permanent place where the county can stockpile materials, especially for chip seal. Out in that end of the county, it's a long haul to get rock out there, so it's really nice to have a site where we can take rock to and then go back there when we need it, when we're out in that area, especially doing chip seal, shoulder work, any other kind of work that needs materials. So it's also a good spot to take our ditch spoils. We can go and we'll have a fill-in grade for that site. We'll be able to dump material there and not have to haul it all the way back into town. So. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the notice items, Resolution 18-120 through 122. Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I move to approve 2 consent items. First, the approval of minutes from the April 2nd, 2018 business meeting, and also Resolution 18-123, approval of warrants.
Second.
Good morning, Commissioner Suzette Smith, Chief Accountant, Auditor's Office, here to present to you Resolution Number 18-123. This is the weekly approval of claims against the various county departments. Last week, we issued 187 regular warrants, number 788339 through 788443, 788624 through 788655, and 788662 through 788711, for a total of $449,638.41. In addition, we had payroll on April the 5th. We issued 651 combined warrants and automatic deposits. The warrants were number 788499 through 788623, and the automatic deposits number 1 through 526 for a total of $3,613,438.45. We note the following two series as in skip in sequence. These warrants were issued on behalf of our special purpose districts. Those were numbered 788444 through 788498 and 788656 through 788661. Any questions? Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent items, approval of minutes of April 2nd, 2018, and Resolution 18-123, approval of warrants and claims against various departments. Any comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, I make a motion to approve 3 deliberation items, Resolution 18-124 through
4. There's 4 items.
4 deliberation items through Resolution, I'll repeat that, 18-124 through Resolution 18-127. My
Second.
glasses are failing me
Yes.
already.
Change those glasses.
Again.
Mr. Martin.
Morning, Commissioners. Eric Martin, Director of Public Works again. Speaking to Resolutions 18-124 and 18-125. The first is listing the bids received and the contractor selected for the 2018 pulverization project, CMP 15-1801. So we went out to bid for our pulverization project for 2018 in March, actually on March 12th, and we received 3 bids. The lowest responsive bid was from Ground Up Road Construction for a total of $13,987.60. The engineer's estimate for this project was $39,004. So this is quite a bit under what we expected to get for bids. So we're pretty happy about that. And Ground Up is a company we've worked with before, so we have trust that they understand what the project was about and know what they're doing. So that's good. Any questions about that? We'll probably be doing that project in June, July? June. Resolution 18-125 is to direct the prosecuting attorney to initiate proceedings to acquire the necessary road right-of-way for the North Fork Road Realignment Project. So this is this resolution will instruct the PA's office to initiate condemnation proceedings to acquire necessary road right-of-way for a parcel on the North Fork Road Realignment Project. And I've asked David Fine to come here today and give a little briefing about what are the legal implications of this and the proceedings that might take place. And then we certainly can talk to you about how we got to this point, where we're going from here, and what this all means if you have questions that we'd like to answer, you'd like us to answer. David, do you want to start with what you've got? Thanks.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Fine. I'm a Deputy Prosecuting Attorney in the Civil Division of the Prosecutor's Office. Resolution 18-125 authorizes the Prosecuting Attorney to initiate condemnation proceedings in respect of a rather small half-acre area of land, which is necessary for this road improvement project. Lewis County rarely has had to institute condemnation proceedings in order to complete road projects. County roads initially were built with the enthusiastic cooperation of adjacent landowners who wanted safe and passable roads from farm to town. Today, the county usually is able to acquire the small parcels of land it needs in order to upgrade roads to modern standards through negotiation with the people whose properties border the affected county roads. We hope that this will continue to be the case in respect of the land that is now in issue. As a part of the negotiation process, the county offers affected landowners, such as the gentleman whose land is now in issue, a sufficient sum of money to allow them to get outside advice as to the value of their land, so that they can appreciate that the county is indeed offering fair market value. We hope that the gentleman concerned will avail himself of that. The prosecutor's office will interpret your direction to initiate condemnation proceedings as an instruction to do so if and only if we are advised by Public Works that negotiations with this landowner have come to a standstill or to an impasse Only then will the prosecuting attorney's office initiate condemnation proceedings by filing a Superior Court action. Having said that, though, Commissioners, we understand that this road improvement project is to be undertaken in the 2019 construction season. If a condemnation action has to be commenced, and if we're required to take that action through to a Superior Court trial, then that process is likely to take about 10 months. In order to allow contracts to be put out for bid in, say, March of 2019, legal proceedings will have to be commenced in May of this year, about 6 weeks from now. We hope we don't have to do so. We hope negotiations will prove fruitful, as they almost always are. But if necessary, we'll accept your instructions then and commence a Superior Court action so that this necessary safety improvement of the road can be undertaken. If you have questions, I'll be pleased to try to answer them, Commissioners. Thank you.
I have a question for Public Works.
Yes.
Tell us about the efforts to reach this individual.
Sure. So what I have with me here today is the negotiator's log. So Bill Vanderhoff is our chief negotiator. He goes out and talks to these folks. And so he's got several occasions when he's contacted these folks. He started in October last year in 2017. And he has, let's see here, he called the folks. He on October 17th, he called them and left a recording. He discussed the project with them on November 17th. It looks like over the phone. We sent them an offer letter. We then received a letter back from them asking us to exclude their project or their property from our project. Looks like several more times they had talked on the phone and on site through November and December. It looks like he last talked to the folks in January, which was about the 6th or 7th time that we've contacted them. He then proceeded to call and leave messages 4 times in January and February with no response. So at that point, we decided that we had come to an impasse, as David had mentioned. That doesn't preclude us from picking back up negotiations if they want to come and start that up again at any time. So we're hoping that happens, and that would be our preference. So.
Any other questions? Why was this road selected for work? What were some of the issues that brought it?
I'm going to ask Tim Fife, our county engineer. Maybe he can speak to that a little bit.
Tim Fife, Lewis County engineer. This road was put in for what we call Rural Arterial Program funding, which is a competitive program. And some of the things they consider when we do that is accident history, curvature of the road, both vertical and horizontal, and then the local priority. This project's been on a 6-year TIP, Transportation Improvement Plan, for, well before I got here. And it was submitted and funded. We had 2 community meetings out there before we went forward with our right-of-way acquisition plan. The first one we showed stormwater ponds, which are not real popular with anybody. And because of that, we redesigned it and narrowed up our right-of-way take from that original meeting. And we're doing what we call filter strips, which still require quite a bit of ground to do that. And in this area, that's where that's the real need, is those filter strips for stormwater. Did that answer your question, or?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Any other questions?
Yeah, Eric, or Tim, how many other property owners are there? 20? I know there's 20 plus.
There's 33 other ones, I believe. Is that right? 24 other ones. Well, there's 24 total, so there's 23 other ones.
Okay. And this, looking at the map here, this is about 700-800 feet or something like that, as far as what's going to have to.
Approximately, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's right at the beginning of the project.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
So again, I just want to reiterate that we are very open to negotiating with these folks. We hope that they will come and want to continue to work with us. That would be our preference. So our door is open, and we're looking forward to talking with them when they're ready. So
We don't do this very often.
no, we don't. And I think I was having a discussion with David earlier, and I think he had said that he'd only been a part of maybe 2 or 3 in 10 years. So again, we can end this at any time if they want to come and negotiate. So that's what we're hoping will happen. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks. Mr. Mansfield.
Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Mansfield, Department of Emergency Services, and I am here to speak on behalf of Resolution 18-126. This resolution will allow for the installation, operation, maintenance, upgrading, and removal of unstaffed personnel equipment and related telecommunications activities by the county and Riverside Fire Authority at 2 separate sites. One being the Cooksville Fire Station owned by Riverside Fire Authority, and the other being the Lewis County Historical Courthouse, the building that we're in today. Just to note, the term personal equipment is an industry term for equipment owned by an agency. It does not refer to individual equipment as a person. This agreement will actually save Riverside Fire Authority money. It will save the county about $1,000. It will improve fire coverage. It will provide for a tactical frequency site for the Chehalis area for both fire, mostly fire, and then also for law enforcement. Any questions? Thank you.
Wait a minute, Steve. There was a comment that we brought up last Wednesday, and we talked just shortly this morning about the term personal communications in this.
Yeah, once again, this does not refer to a person's equipment. It is a term used within an agency. So the Lewis County's equipment up there is considered Lewis County's personal equipment. And same with the Riverside Fire Authority equipment. It is their personal equipment, not as an individual, but as an organization or agency. I struggle with that, as did many other people, but I'm told that that's how that is done.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we have Resolution 18-127. This is the appointment of Derek Wojcik-Damers to serve to complete the term of Heather Stewart on the Public Facilities District. Derek, of course, is our general manager at Twin Transit. He lives in Chehalis. He was very interested and willing to participate, and so we're very excited to be able to appoint him to the PFD Board of Directors today.
All right. Any questions? It's been moved and seconded to approve the deliberation items, Resolution 18-124 through 127. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Is there a motion? That's right. Thank you. I'd like to call to order the hearing regarding Resolution 18-128 for the first 2018 budget amendment for current expense and other funds. We'll first have a staff report, followed by a question and answer period. We will then close the question and answer period and open the hearing for formal testimony. And if people want to sign up, they have 3 minutes when they testify. And you can sign up on the sheet now. Staff report.
Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Walton, Central Services Director, and Becky Butler, the Budget Manager. As usual, copies of the detailed budget amendment are available in the front of the room. This hearing pertains to the recommendation to amend the 2018 budget as indicated in Resolution number 18-128. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Chronicle on March 29th and April 3rd, 2018. The notice, as published, reflected an increase in expenditures of $644,845 and an increase in revenue of $647,353, resulting in an increase in overall fund balance in the amount of $2,508. Subsequent to the notice being published in the paper, the need to amend other funds became necessary, resulting in an increase in revenue in the amount of $210,700 and an increase in expenditures in the amount of $335,031. With these new changes incorporated, the total budget amendment reflects an increase in expenditures of $979,876, an increase in revenue in the amount of $858,053, resulting in a decrease in estimated ending fund balance in the amount of $121,823. The general fund portion of this amendment is an expenditure increase of $74,733 and a decrease in like amount of in fund balance in like amount of $74,733. Becky will now go over the details of this amendment.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Can you hear me
Morning.
okay? For the general fund, we're moving $20,000 worth of professional services from the BOCC budget to the HR budget. This is for the recruitment of the county manager and the services provided. We have an increase of $44,309 in the prosecutor's budget for a legal assistant in the child support enforcement program. State grant funds were already included in the adopted budget. An increase of $23,864 for an annual leave payout for the risk administrator. An increase in the coroner's budget of $6,560 for indigent burials and grant-related expenditures. For other funds, social services has an increase in revenue of $49,069 and an increase in expenditures of $6,750. This is a result of changes in grant contracts from the original budget. For the mental health tax fund, we have an increase of revenue of $346,776 and an expenditure increase in the amount of $403,076. Of the total, $346,776 is related to the ITA's Involuntary Treatment Act for Alcohol Court and is offset with funding from the BHO, the Behavioral Health Organization. The remainder is an increase for adult drug court and family treatment court expenditures. We have an increase in revenue in the amount of $437,000 and expenditures for road construction projects related to Borst Avenue, Pleasant Valley, Stoll Road, and Townsend in the amount of $390,722, as well as an increase of $28,343 for an annual leave payout for a public works employee who retired. Chehalis River Basin Fund has an increase of $1,000 related to river gauge maintenance costs. Increase of $16,500 in the auditor's O&M fund for a new scanner in the auditor recording department. Public Health has an increase in revenue of $3,275 for the consolidated contract amendment for case management services. We're also increasing revenue for kennel permit fees. Solid Waste has an increase of $36,819 for costs related to the purchase of a new copier machine, annual leave payout for retiring employee, and casual help for recycling program. The contribution of $21,933 from the Solid Waste Disposal District number 1 will offset a portion of those increases. And then finally, we have an increase of the contribution from Solid Waste Disposal District number 1 to Solid Waste in the amount of $21,933 for the items listed that I just mentioned. Any questions?
Yes. Any questions from the board? All right. We will open the period for question and answers from the public. Any questions? Okay, we will close the question and answer period. Staff, would you like your opening comments to be incorporated into the hearing?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. So now we'll open up the hearing for public testimony. And I'm supposed to read the names from the sign-up sheet, but no one has signed up. Is there anyone there that would like to make some comments? Seeing no one, we will close the hearing for public testimony.
I move to approve Resolution 18-128, the first 2018 budget amendment for current expense and other funds.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 18-128, the first 2018 budget amendment for current expense and other funds. Any further comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good of the order.
Well, I guess I'll start this off. We had a very, very wonderful transportation benefit conference this past Friday. We have participation from 8 out of 9 communities to participate in expanding the benefit district to the entire county. We had a lot of good interaction with the public and other officials that were here. We got to hear from Dr. Robert Moorbacher about the impact that this could have on getting students to college, especially out on the East End. The possibility of helping to get Running Start students to the campus to complete their studies. We talked about the possibilities of what this could do for us economically as major corporations and businesses, when they begin to look at an area and their proximity, they begin to ask the question of, you know, what have you done in the way of mass transit? Because transit is becoming an important piece and an important concept to businesses locating to specific areas. And so as we continue to talk about this, you know, we've gotten through the first step of this, and now comes the hard part as we move towards November. There will be a measure on the ballot in November for a 0.2% sales tax, not a property tax, a sales tax, in order to pay and underwrite the system in the entire county. The discussions will be surrounding different thought processes and ideas. We have people that are on both sides of this issue, but ultimately, it's going to come to a vote of the people, which it should. And that's where it lies. It's going to depend on what the people want, and so we're looking forward to the process. Personally, I'm a guy that's all about processes. Sometimes it's even less about what the end result will be, and it's more about how do we do the process, how do we go through these times and trying to get things accomplished that are good for our county. And so we're looking forward to that process and looking forward to what conversations will come out of that. But our hope is that in November we will have this approved and be able to expand our benefit district. And the thing to remember about this, that this is more of a big vision idea. This is the big idea. It's not something that's going to impact immediately. A lot of people have asked that question, you know, what are the routes going to look like? You know, how is this going to affect us and our communities? We can't really answer that yet until we put the infrastructure in place. But once we do, it has the ability to grow and become something very special long after the 3 commissioners sitting up here will be out of office. And so the idea is that we're putting something in place in the way of an investment for the future. And so I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited that we had a lot of good comments, and we'll look forward to see what happens in November.
It was nice to see the council representatives from towns and cities throughout our county be talking about how that would impact their particular areas. It's a good one, very good one.
Just one thing here, and I know that we could talk about transit for a long period of time, but I would just like to point out, I'd like to thank, I got a phone call last week, actually the week before, I believe, from Roger Smith up on the short road, which is, if you're going over top Peterman Hill, right on the top there's a road that goes left, that's short road. So part of that, and they have a neighborhood watch program, which it goes through law enforcement, and it's, we did one on our block too, and it's quite an extensive process. You got to get all the neighbors on board, and which is a good thing. But anyway, when you do that, you have signs to put up, and of course there's right of way involved. There's property. You know, most of the people. Let's put it this way: probably most people in Lewis County are probably mowing county right of way, especially in some areas, which is fine. So they did it the right way, and they said, how do we do this? And they'd called me. I think they'd already contacted Public Works, but I said, I'll make a phone call. And I made one phone call to Eric Martin, and Tim and his staff got together and did that in a very, very short order. Got those signs up, and they didn't have to worry about it. And so anyway, Roger Smith and his neighbors are very grateful for, and again, he's involved with government some way, so he understands permitting. And he said he was amazed. It didn't take any permits. You guys got it done, and that's, sometimes we always hear the things that are always not the most popular things. So anyway, they're very appreciative up there. So, and they've been having a big problem with theft and other issues up there. So there you go. Thank you.
I wanted to mention on Friday afternoon, Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler came to Centralia and met with Scott White, who's the director of the Fox Theater, and Councilman Peter Abarno, and we gave her a tour of the Fox Theater. When it is finished, should be the largest theater between Tacoma and Portland. We'll have 1,000 seats. Anyway, it's been interesting as we've been working on that project, and Jamie Herrera Butler did some work for us regarding historic tax credits, and she wanted to see for herself the Fox Theater as it is in construction, and we're working really hard to make it happen. But it was nice to see one of our local legislators from Washington, D.C. take a look at the projects we have going on right here. Any other for good of the order? Okay, let's move to the press conference. Nothing, Susan? Nothing. Any other from the commissioners? I'd like to mention, did you have something to say? Colonel Averill?
My propensity not to sign up for things. This is the one time I don't have to sign up, so. There are a couple of things that I wanted to do. First, I want to thank you for finally filling that final position on the PFD. It brings us back up to strength, so that's very important. We've had that position empty for some time. Secondly, I attended the Transportation District hearing, and I was sorely disappointed about the fact that that Napavine chose not to participate in that. And you know, one of the arguments, and perhaps the press may pick this up, but Napavine's taxing capabilities are pretty limited, and so they're, plus what they've got available for their citizens to go to means that their citizens are buying things elsewhere in the county predominantly. And they've been paying for the Centralia Chehalis Transportation District forever, because the big box stores are some of the biggest sales things. So by choosing not to participate in this, they essentially are depriving their people of the right to one, say yes or no, whichever. But secondly, by not participating in this, when the Transportation District does get completed, their people are blocked out because we can't serve an area that chooses not to participate. So I would certainly hope that with the 30 days that they've got to make up their mind, that they might reconsider what the consequences are, and that someone will talk to them about it, because it's coming and they just don't have a chance. And the third thing that I want to talk about is we in the Small Projects Committee, working with Steve Betcher, were approached by...
This is for the Flood Authority, correct?
The Flood Authority. Were approached by a citizen in the county that was concerned because her daughter had huge flood insurance problems. And, you know, the French Westmore is a specialist in CRP and these areas of flood insurance. And so we got together with them, and the area of flood insurance is extremely complicated. I mean, he showed a couple of documents that they use in deciding what insurance rates are, and they're 90 to 100 pages in length. There are things that people can do to reduce their flood insurance, but it's not obvious. It needs someone to do it. And so we had a discussion with the building department in Centralia because that's where this person lived. And we brought French in. And as a result of that, we decided that one of the things that we need to do was to make sure that the people that were offering insurance knew what the alternatives were and that they advised people appropriately. So we had a meeting in Centralia and one insurance agent showed up. So we need to do some outreach, and we're planning to do that later on this month. We're going to, Commissioner Fund is going to be involved partially in getting the word out to folks here, but this is an important area because as we continue on, these rates are going to continue to go up. There's some protection for small property owners and that they get grandfathered in, but if you're a renter or a commercial business, they're just going out of sight. So this is an important issue that's being worked on.
And I think on April 26th at 6 o'clock, there's going to be a meeting inviting anyone who wants to talk about flood insurance, but in particular North Centralia folks. We're the individual who brought this situation to our attention. One of the comments made, some folks have basements and they don't use them, they get flooded or whatever. If they would fill them in, that would decrease their flood insurance.
By almost 30%.
By 30%. So anyway, interesting time as we try to prepare our citizens. As we know, flood insurance is on the rise.
If I could make a comment to Colonel Averill about the period between the conference and it's actually 60 days. We have 60 days. One of the things we were able to accomplish was to make it as easy a process as possible should the city of Napavine opt to actually participate. I can tell you that I have spoken to some folks. There is some support for this in the Napavine area. And actually, I think this is a good thing because I think this gives the city council an opportunity to hear from their constituents, which is the way it should be. If there is enough support over there, then they have that option of opting in with the blessing of the entire conference, which we're able to secure on Friday. But if their constituents say, nope, we're on board, we believe and we support you in what you said, then it will be as you said. But we wanted to make sure the RCW, the way it reads, it's very easy to opt out. It just wasn't that easy to opt back in. And so we wanted to create a situation, and the attorneys, after they were standing on top of the bench over there to make sure I got their attention, we have what we call an open document. The document that they signed on Friday is still open. And so a representative from the Napavine City Council, should they contact us and let us know that we have decided to opt back in, it's a simple matter of getting together, having them sign the document, and we make a document a part of the public record. And then it will go to the auditor on the 1st of August as a measure on the ballot. So it's still an option. It's still available, and the city of Napavine will have that opportunity to one way or the other. They have 60 days to think about it. So that's all good. That's all good. It's our democracy at work here. So I appreciate you commenting on that.
The other thing too, and I believe Mountain Transit, it will be soon going away in, I believe, June or July of 2019. Yeah. This is the thing about it. It's been going for 20 plus years, 25, 26 years. And the people that have been using that in the outlining areas come in, and I know that Centralia and Chehalis both didn't commit one way or another. But as far as those people, most of the people that are coming in have been paying sales tax. Now, I'm not sure what the economic impact would be. However, I know that there's a lot of information out there that we were trying to also increase the area, and that would include PL. So this is actually, and again, I'm not sure what the impact would be, but this is sales tax dollars that the city of Centralia and Chehalis would not be getting. So, and again, who knows? I'm sure there's some economic indicators out there, but I'm not aware of that. So, and again, PL, by bringing PL into the into this area, it would be also an added bonus. So, and again, I think consistency too, when you're talking about ridership and programs, this would unify the county, in my opinion, as far as not having just two separate transit systems. You would have one large one, and then that would be a lot of promoting, and I think there would be a stronger bond there between Twin Transit and also countywide. So, and again, I am not a tax person. I'd be the last person that would ever vote for a tax, but I think it's an investment. I really do. So that's my thing.
All right, thank you. Well, next month on May 4th, during our commissioners/mayors meeting, Kirk Pearson from USDA is coming back, and he's bringing his expert on broadband as well as an expert from Department of Commerce. So that will be 9 o'clock on May 4th.
Okay. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.